Habits aren't just something that happens to you, they are actually part of who you are. We don't just wake up one day and decide to be a smoker, a drinker, or an overeater. It takes years of practice and repetition before those habits become ingrained in us. And for that reason, it's not easy to break a habit that's been formed over time. You can try and fight it, but ultimately, it's best to just learn to live with it. If you can relate, this video is for you. In this video, we're going to be talking about the power of small habits that can change your life. We all engage in behaviors that we may not even be aware of or give much thought to. These are our habits. These routines and everyday habits are so ingrained in them that they are practically impossible to break. We all have habits, and they are very strong. For instance, we all have a certain order in which we dress in the morning. Which comes first, your socks or your pants? Do you brush your teeth before getting dressed or after? Your everyday life and routine are created by these behaviors and many others. Your day is nothing more than a collection of distinct routines formed at various times for various purposes. If you watch this video till the very end, you'll gain a clear idea that utilizing the power of habits requires an understanding of what habits are, so that you can change your life by changing your habits. So, pay close attention. How do habits work? Our lives are mostly governed by our habits, but what precisely are they? Habits are routines that we perform on a daily basis without thinking about them. In essence, habits are thinking patterns that are repeatedly applied to behavior over time. If you repeatedly think or act, you will eventually form a habit. This means that if you think about something over and over again, you will eventually start doing it without even realizing it. What are some examples of habits? A habit is like a reflex. For example, brushing your teeth is a habit that you perform without thinking about it. The same is true for eating, sleeping, and many other daily routines. They are employed so frequently in cognition or conduct that they respond to particular stimuli automatically. Our habits can become almost invisible to us through automation, but other people might not notice this. Why do people keep repeating the same mistakes? The answer is because they don't think about what they are doing. When you repeat a behavior, you are not thinking about the consequences of your actions. How do habits develop? A cue, a routine, and a reward are the three neurobiological steps that help people create habits. The stimulus that makes your brain respond is known as a cue. It may be getting a text message, waking up in the morning, or hearing a certain sound. It leads to a specific behavior. There are two types of cues. One is a cue to action, and the other is a cue to thought. A cue to action is the trigger that tells you to do something. For example, it could be a light that goes on when you turn the key in the ignition. This is a cue to action. A cue to thought is the trigger that tells you to think about something. For example, you may have an alarm clock that reminds you to get up in the morning. This is a cue to think. Next, we frequently refer to a routine as the habit itself. One habit might be to check your text messages as soon as you get a notification, for instance. Or perhaps you go to brush your teeth as soon as you wake up in the morning. There are several benefits to having a routine, including helping you to get organized and stay focused on the task at hand. A routine also helps reduce stress, because it allows you to plan out your day in advance. What occurs once the habit's behavior is finished is referred to as a reward. Most of the time, doing the behavior gives you a benefit or some other good thing. A reward is the consequence of a habit. For example, after you brush your teeth every day, you are rewarded with a mouthful of fresh breath. You gain the advantage of knowing what the other person texted right away if you check your texts as soon as you receive the prompt to check your messages. Habits with immediate rewards are simpler to identify than those with delayed rewards. For example, checking your text messages might be easier to recognize as a habit than, say, brushing your teeth at the same time every day. How can you change your life with strong habits? Automatic habits can be extremely powerful. They can be so powerful, in fact, that they can take over our lives. They can also be incredibly hard to break. Automatic habits are very difficult to break because we have become used to them over time. However, if you know that you want to break a habit, you can break it by making a conscious effort not to do it. You can't force yourself to do something if you don't want to. If you want to change something in your life, you have to make a conscious effort to do so. Sometimes we don't get the cue too often, which prevents us from classifying a particular activity as a habit. That's true, but you can still benefit from making an effort to classify an activity as a habit. For example, if you want to be able to do a particular activity without thinking about it, you can make an effort to classify the activity as a habit. Or, sometimes we are aware of the trigger and the behavior, but we don't know why we did it. People often do things they don't understand, but when they are confronted with the reason for their actions, they can usually find a way to control or change their behaviors. We all know that we need to change our behavior in order to become a better person, but what if we could just figure out why we're behaving the way we're behaving? If you can figure out why you did something, you can learn to avoid doing it again. When utilizing the power of habits, it is crucial to consider all of these issues. You must become aware of the cues, routines, and rewards of your everyday life if you wish to leverage the power of habits to better your life. The more you know about what works for you, the easier it will be to make changes to your lifestyle. Try keeping a journal of the different things that you notice. It will take time for you to become conscious of your habits, but tracking the activities that have become routine in your life is always useful. The more you track your daily activities, the better you will be able to see how you are spending your time and how you might be able to change or improve your lifestyle. As always, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button if you find this video helpful, and share it with others you think might benefit from it. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. And also check out the link in the description to a video that will show you how to break old habits.